Hello and welcome to Haven and Hearth. You start as this ball of light. Proceed to the stone arch, where we will choose the gender of your character. Left for female, right for male. Now we just head over to this pool to choose how our character looks. You use the middle mouse button to rotate the camera, and you scroll up to zoom in. I'm currently using Ender Client. I'll have a link for it in the description, but you can always use the default client. Now the wizard here is where you select your character's name. The graveyard is where you go if you have a character die. You can come here to inherit completed Kratos, Hearthfire, owned land, and a portion of their attributes, abilities, and learning points spent on skills. And the skull here is the spawn charter. You can use it if you're playing with a group. Instead of spawning somewhere randomly, you can set yourself to spawn at a charter stone or a wilderness beacon. You just need to know the code phrase set, and its eyes will burn when it's active. All you need to do is right click on the campfire when you're ready to start. Before you do that, you can right click and collect everything in this small world to get a head start on learning points. Nothing that you collect here will transfer once you burn in the fire, so when you're ready, volume warning. Perfect. Welcome to the world. It's magical, vast, and full of danger. Let's familiarize you with some controls and menus to make life a little easier. Control T opens your character screen. This is where you go to see your attributes, skills, abilities, quests, wounds, and combat moves. Let's briefly go over attributes. Strength is your character's raw strength. It's used in combat, mining, smithing, and destruction. Agility is your character's speed. When in combat, having a higher agility than your opponent will decrease your attack cooldown and increase your opponent's cooldowns. Intelligence is your character's mental prowess. It increases your attention limit for studying curiosities, as well as the visibility and quantity of sense you leave behind when performing criminal acts. Constitution is your character's vitality. It affects the stamina cost of swimming, and it's used to increase your hit points. Perception is your vision. You use it to detect forageables, baking, and for ranged combat. Charisma is your character's charm and body language. It affects your party size, rewards from quests, and bonuses when feasting at a bonfire. Dexterity is your skill at working with your hands for crafting. It's used in pottery, sausage making, picking locks, and crafting sewing items. Will is your mental endurance. It affects fishing, some crafting, and fast travel. Psyche is your hearthling spirituality. It affects higher tier crafts like jewelry, gem cutting, silk making, and some curiosities. Now for your abilities. Unarmed combat is your effectiveness in unarmed combat. And melee combat is your effectiveness with armed combat. Marksmanship is used in crafting ranged combat items and is used in increasing your damage with ranged weapons, along with perception. Exploration is used in finding forageables when multiplying it against your perception. Stealth determines the visibility of sense you leave behind when committing criminal acts. It's multiplied by your intelligence. Sewing is used in crafting leather and fabric items. Smithing is used when making jewelry and metal items. Masonry is used in pottery and stoneworking. It affects the quality of clay you gather. Carpentry is used for wooden items like making boards. Cooking is used in making a lot of food and baked goods. Farming is used to increase the quality of seeds and plants when harvesting. It also affects some craftable items and the butchering of tamed animals. Survival is used to increase the quality of forageables, water, and soil you find, and affects the quality of items when butchering animals. You also use it in crafting and making fire. Lore is your wisdom and magic. It's used a bit in crafting. And this is your study report. It's used to gain learning points at the cost of experience points, which you get through events and quests over time. You can find or craft curiosities to study, but you are limited to one at a time for each different kind of item. Your intelligence sets your attention limit. So if you find an item with 6 mental weight, but you only have 5 left, you won't be able to study it until room opens up or you increase your attention limit. Skills are how you unlock the ability to do new stuff. The main ones you should focus on getting are foraging, hunting, lumberjacking, and carpentry. Foraging allows us to see various plants, herbs, roots, and berries that you can pick up. Hunting is necessary for picking up, attacking, killing, skinning, and butchering various creatures. Lumberjacking allows you to cut down trees with an axe, remove stumps, and make blocks of wood. Carpentry allows you to make boards from logs and build more advanced constructions. And now wounds. You will accumulate wounds over time through fighting, mining, and other things. Some wounds will go away on their own, while others will need specific medicines and treatments. Combat. Combat is pretty complex, so I'm just going to have you equip the Beginner Fu combat deck and tell you to avoid fighting at the beginning, because just about everything is going to destroy you. You'll get quests over time. There's also some tutorial quests you should complete. Control E opens your equipment. It's pretty self-explanatory. Control A opens the world map. This is where you can see everything that you've explored and set flags for points of interest you discover. Tab opens your inventory. You can hold shift to transfer items between containers, or you can hold control to drop items. You can also hold alt with shift or control to select multiple of the same type of item. You can make stockpiles by clicking an item from your inventory and right-clicking on the ground. A preview will appear. Left-click to place. You can also hold shift to add all the items. Control plus left-click is also how you get out of boats and off of animals. Your minimap gives you a lot of information about your surroundings, like animals, forageables, and players. You can interact with your minimap to make it easier to gather items, chase animals, or move in a certain direction. The next thing is your movement speed. In the top left, there are 4 movement speeds: crawl, walk, run, and sprint. Crawl is very slow movement. You will crawl when you run out of stamina. Walk is your normal default speed. And running will use up your stamina. You use it to run after animals, run from animals, or run from players. You can refill your stamina by drinking, which will drain your energy. And finally, hit points. Your hit points are broken into 3 categories. Your soft hit points, in red, act as your character's pain tolerance. When it reaches 0, your character is knocked unconscious, and your character will get up with 1 soft hit point. If your energy is over 8,000, your soft hit points will recover over time. You can only recover soft hit points to your hard hit point cap. Your hard hit points is your Hearthling's vitality. When it reaches 0, your character dies. Wounds can lower your hard hit points, and some heal over time, while others require direct intervention. Your max hit points is your character's damage limit. Your hard hit points can never be higher than it. You can raise your max hit points by increasing your constitution.